What's going on, guys? It's yugioh podcast. Back in the lab again today with another deck profile. Hopefully you guys like some of the shorts. Please check me out on YouTube Shorts. I'm making some great videos over there. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, like and everything. Channel's getting really beat up by the algorithm, but we're going to keep on going. We shall overcome. Thank you guys for returning back to the channel. Let's go ahead and get into something that has been kind of like a personal favorite of mine. So this deck right here is Qliphort. This was arguably the first Pendulum deck. It is the first Pendulum deck that was ever created. And it's actually not a bad deck even by today's standard. It had a lot of cards banned and limited in it for quite some time before coming back. However, the cards themselves now are pretty much all unlimited. So the deck is at full power, but nobody plays it. And there's a little bit of a learning curve and a reason why it's not getting played. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. For starters, we'll be starting off with our boss monster, and we'll be running one Qliphort Towers. This is the OG boss monster. This is Big Daddy, Big Papa. He requires 3 Qliphort monsters as tribute. Then when he comes on the field, basically he's a skill drain for all of your opponent's monsters. He reduces all special summon monsters by 500 points. He's unaffected by, I believe, spells and traps and monsters that are level and rank that are lower than him. And he can randomly make your opponent send 1 card from their hand or their side of the field, their choice, to the graveyard. Very strong card. I mean, this card is a monster and a menace. All right, it is one of the best cards in the deck, if not the best card in the deck, and one of the arguably the best boss monster in the game. So you got to play one. There are builds for Towers Turbo. However, we're just playing one here. We like to have a little bit of fun. Then we're going to be playing one Skybase. Skybase essentially is just a change of heart. So it just requires 3 tributes. I believe it's unaffected by spells and traps. And then at that, it is just a big monster, just a big boy that steals a face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field. So not necessarily a change of heart, more like a brain control. But let's go ahead and read it just because this one is kind of, it eludes me sometimes. Yeah, it's unaffected by the effects, spell and trap effects, and by activate effects from any monsters whose original level or rank is lower than this card's current level. So fairly decent card. This was the boss monster when Towers was banned. That was the boss monster of the deck that people chose to play. Then of course we've got 3 of our Qliphort Scout. 3 Scout is standard, and you need to run this. This is your rota of the deck. So Scout allows you to pay 800, search pretty much any Qliphort card, add it to your hand. That's just a vanilla monster, doesn't really do anything else. You don't really need it to do anything else. That's really all you need. The scale effect for all the Qli monsters. So all the Pendulum Qli monsters, they all have the scale effect that you cannot special summon any monsters except for Qli monsters. All right, while they're scaled. So just a little added restriction that you need to keep mind of. Then you're going to be running 3 of your monolith. So you're going to be running 3 Qliphort monolith. Monolith essentially just acts as a draw engine for the end of the turn. So if you tribute, let's say 2 or 3 monsters, whatever, you're going to draw that many cards at the end of the turn. It acts as a great scale as well. Since Scout is a scale 9, Monolith's a scale 1, you're going to be using them in tandem with each other quite a bit as you're just kind of generating advantage. And I want to go over something really fast. Like, I just want to kind of make a small admission. My Facebook group at one point in time was called Qliphort Duelist, just because I liked this deck so much. Like, this was the deck that I had played when I had originally got right back into Yu-Gi-Oh during like Pendulum time. I had picked up this whole entire core. It was expensive as shit, but I picked up this whole entire core, and I got back in right pretty much at the end of Shaddoll format, and I just kind of slapped Shaddolls around with this deck, and it made me feel really good to just kind of get back in the game and just start winning again. So yeah, I got a really I got a little level of respect for this deck. Then you're going to be running 3 of your Qliphort disc. Essentially, if it's tribute summon, you special summon 2 Qli monsters from your deck out to the field. So he essentially just makes himself just duplicate by 2, but also with another effect as far as the Qli monsters go. All of them have the choice that you can normal summon them. So if you notice, like, there's no level 4 Qli monsters, there's none, and all of them have the effect of, so with that being said, all of them have the effect to be normal summon. However, when you normal summon them, they become level 4 monsters, 1800 attack with 1000 defense. So you know, they're not really that bad. Then you're going to be running 3 of your Qliphort stealth, 3 stealth. He's a level 8 scale 1, and his effect can't be responded to. When he's tribute summoned, he can bounce a card from the field back to the hand. So your opponent cannot respond to that card effect, so he's like a spell speed 4, which is awesome in my opinion. He's also he's the only level 8, I believe, in the deck. So he allows for some interesting plays as far as like rank plays. So we'll see that when we get to the extra deck. Then you're running 2 Qliphort Shell. Shell just attacks twice. When he's tribute summoned, he gains the effect to attack twice. If he's not tribute summoned, he becomes a level 4, 1800, 1000 attack. Then you've got your tributable monsters. So the monsters that actually get tribute and they get an effect. So you've got Carrier. When you tribute Carrier, he's going to bounce 1 monster card from the it's either 1 card, I believe it might be 1 card or 1 monster card. Let me double check that real quick. You can target 1 monster on the field, yeah. So you can target 1 monster on the field and bounce it, which is fine, you know. That he's actually really good. You can get them off multiple times, which would be amazing. So it's the same carrier. Helix is the same as Carrier, except for he destroys a spell or trap on the field. Right. So then you've got this guy who does some burn damage when he's tribute summoned by, I believe, the amount of monsters that are in the graveyard. And that's pretty much your main lineup for your Qli monsters. All right. So we're going to be getting into some other cards. So you'll be running definitely a Regulus. They're all Earth machines. You're going to need to run them. All right. So don't feel too bad about it, but Regulus is in this deck. Then you're going to be running triple Ash Blossom. All right. You got to run triple Ash Blossom. You got to have it. Then you got to run triple Prosperity. You're not really going to use the extra deck too much. All right, you're not really going to use the extra deck too much, so you can afford to burn some cards out of the extra deck. You might use a couple in there, but you're not going to really be using it like that. Then, because most of the monsters are vanilla, or at least the important monsters are vanilla, you're going to need to search them out somehow. So you're going to need to be using Summoner's Art. And Summoner's Art just searches out a vanilla monster. Then I've seen this played at different ratios, but I like playing it at 3. I think it's the most consistent. Sacrifice essentially is a card that can search out, I believe, any Qli monster. Any Qli monster. It's either that or any Qli card. Give me 1 second to look. Except from the filter grader, you can add 1 Qli monster from your deck to your hand. Yep. So sacrifice, if it's equipped onto a Qli monster, becomes double the tributes, gains 300 attack and defense. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, you can search out any Qli monster in your deck and add it to your hand. Pretty busted. This is my own spice. Okay, so you guys might like this, you might not, but I love this. So I decided to run 2 extra Pendulum. So essentially it's just a spell card that gives you 1 extra Pendulum summon per turn, which is in my opinion, that's pretty good. I mean, if you're setting yourself up for 2 Pendulum summons, I mean, it literally has no drawback. It doesn't say you can't normal summon or set for the turn or nothing. It just says add 1 additional Pendulum summon. You can always benefit from that with pretty much any Pendulum deck that focuses on Pendulum summoning. And you're going to pendulum summon in this deck a little bit. Not that often, but you'll pendulum summon in this deck enough to where you can benefit from having two. So I think that extra pendulum is quite a benefit to the deck. Then you're going to be running one laser clip, because why not? I mean, you want a normal summon, right? So you can normal summon up to 3 monsters per turn, or I'm sorry, normal summon 1 additional monster with the effect of laser clip, but you will have also 2 additional pendulum summons along with that. So I like kind of being really shenanigans. I like to swarm the field a little bit, which is why we kind of run a heavy monster count. Then you're going to be running triple skill drain, and then 1 Recreate. So if you're not familiar with what Recreate does, essentially Recreate is like a dimensional fissure and a skill drain at the same time. So level 4 or lower monsters, when they are normal summoned, they are their effects are negated, and when they leave the field, they're banished. Now level 5 and higher monsters, when they are special summoned, their effects are negated, and when they leave the field, they are banished. The only reason why we run 1 is because we can search it. So that's the main deck so far, guys. That's the main deck. Let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. All right, saucy deck profile. I got ashy hands. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So you're going to be running one of these guys. All right. So one of these guys. Let me find the edge of my camera. There we go. If you're using a level 7 or higher monster, he becomes untargetable and unaffected, essentially untargetable, undestroyable. So he's only a link 3, and most of your monsters are all like over level 7. So and it doesn't say like an original level, it just says level 7. So if you link off one of your Qliphorts that are being treated as a level 4, he'll still count towards that whole level 7, which I found was pretty cool. You're running all earth monsters, so you're gonna have to run the obligatory Asa, right? Then of course this is a Qli deck, right? So you're gonna be running 3 Qliphort Genius. Qliphort Genius, when he special summons a Qliphort monster out of the deck when he has 2, I believe, machine monsters special summoned to the zones he points to. Then he'll special summon a machine monster out of the deck. He also has the effect of he's kind of like a scrap dragon. I know that probably doesn't make a lot of sense in today's day and age, but essentially he can just target 1 monster or 1 card on your opponent's side of the field, 1 card on your side of the field, and he can negate them while he's face up on the field, or while those cards are face up on the field. So pretty decent. 1 platinum gadget, because why not, right? 1 platinum gadget, not too bad. Beyond the pendulum, we are running pendulums, so you can always set up your pendulum plays first before you pendulum summon, so that way you can at least get your search off and all that other stuff. You do have extra normal summons, and then, you know, other things like that. Then while your monsters are being treated as level 4s, you can make a lot of rank 4 plays. You've got Abyss Dweller, you've got Tornado Dragon. Your opponent's going to try to really take you hard as far as like spells and traps goes. So, you know, if they know what you're playing, they're going to want to obviously slap you. So I think a Tornado Dragon is pretty good. You're running a variety of levels, anywhere between 5 to 10, 11, 12. So you can run things like Odd Eyes Dragon. You can run Coach King, Giant Trainer, if you want to get the 3 draws in, which is pretty good because you do have level 8s. You have Regulus and you have Stealth, and you're going to see them quite often within the deck. So you can make them quite easily. You're going to run Zeus just because Zeus is standard in the extra deck these days. You've got Ash Blossom in the deck, so of course, and then you've also got level 5s in the deck, so you can make Savage Dragon if you wanted to. You can make Barone if you wanted to, and because you're running the Absolute Dragon, you can definitely run your Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon as well. So guys, if you liked this deck profile, please leave a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe to the channel. I'll be pumping out some more content here coming up soon. Thank you guys for supporting us here at yugioh Podcast. It's been amazing. I'm just in the process of creating more content, so I'm sorry it's slowed down, the past couple of days. Won't happen again. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you at the next conversation. Peace. Oh shit, where's my mouse at? Oh, there it is. All right, gotcha.